Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to a new video. My name is Meyson. Today I'm going to be showing you how to take this image on your screen and make it look like this. Yes, pretty awesome, I know, right? Now, before we get into this video, we need to give a big shout out to EfikZara. This image is hers. She shot this image and she provided me with this image. So thank you so much, Zara. You guys should definitely check her Instagram page out and check her YouTube page out. She's a natural hair vlogger and violinist. Definitely check out, and I shoot her from time to time. So yeah. We're going to use this to go over like a few tips to shooting an image like this. Now, it's good to unexpose your images sometimes when you're shooting outdoors, or most times when I shoot outdoors and I'm just shooting with natural sun, with natural light. I say natural sun. With natural light, I tend to underexpose my image, especially when I'm shooting against the sun. You know, you expose for the highlights, which, you know, you can see it right here. You can see there are like still some details in the highlights. So you expose for your highlights, and almost every camera right now has good dynamic range, so you can always pull up your shadows and get your picture looking great. Now, yes, you will see noise, but most of the time we're going to just be using this image or our images, sorry, on Instagram and probably our website. We're not going to be printing, or people are not going to be seeing them in large prints or on large screen and all that. So it's totally fine to shoot on the expose and pull up, you know, your shadows in post. It's good. So that's what we're going to do for this image. So now I'm going to come to my local adjustments. The first thing I'll do is pull up my shadows. Pull up my shadows very well. Yeah, to somewhere around this. This is fine. Now the next thing I want to do is highlights. I want to actually pull down my highlights, as you guys can see right here. Pull down my highlights right here. Now after doing this, I can see the image is a bit blue, but if you look at the sun, you know this was shot in the evening. So I want to take the image back to having this extremely warm feel that it's supposed to have. So I'm just going to, now that's too warm. So I'm just going to pull it, just add a little warmth to it, because we're going to do some more in Photoshop. So this looks more like it. This looks more like what, you know, the person was probably seeing when they shot this picture. I wasn't there, so I won't know, but I'm just guessing. Now I'm just going to work on my tint. Now this is not the first time I'm editing this image, so I know a few things already. So yeah, I'm done working on my tint now. Somewhere around 7.1 is fine. So as you can see, the image looks good. It looks okay, but it's not where I want it to be when I'm working on my raw files. I need it to pop a little more. So I'm going to come to this histogram, and I'll work on my levels. As you guys can see on my levels, I'll pull in my whites. If you know, you always have your whites when you look at a histogram on the right and your blacks on the left. Well, that's what I know. I'll crush my blacks a little bit. Okay, so this is what this image looks like now. So let's create a new variant, and that's the only way in Capture One you can see your before and after. You can see where you started from. So this is where we started from, and this is where we're at now. Do not forget, this is where we are heading to. So this is where we started from, and this is where we are at right now. Now, after doing this, I can see that the colors are not popping as much as I want them to pop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my saturation. I'll come back to my local adjustments and just work here. So I'm just going to pull up my saturation. Yes, I have, you know, the image is a lot more saturated than before. Now, I want her to stand out just a little more, you know, it's kind of like dark. So I just want her to stand out a little more. So I'm going to create a new local adjustment layer here, and I'll name that face. Now I'm just going to click my mode and just toggle through my mode. For some reason, when I don't do that and I type, my cursor disappears. I don't know why. So yeah, so now that I have this face adjustment layer ready, I'm going to come down to my shadows and I'll pull up my shadows. Obviously you guys can't see anything right now, but what I'm going to do now is I'll pick a brush and I'll paint that mask in. Just paint it in probably a hair too. Okay, so this is what we have now that we've done that. As you guys can see, her face is a bit more exposed than it was before. So you guys can see that. So let's see before and after. Her face is a bit more exposed than it was before. So now what I'm going to do is this image, this is where I want this image to be right now in Capture One. So I've taken this image from here and I've brought it to this point right here. So now I'm going to take this image I've worked on and I'll edit it in Photoshop. So let's edit this particular image in Photoshop. So guys, now we're in Photoshop, and the first thing I want to do is clean up the ground, you know, right here. I wouldn't be working non-constructively because I don't have to, so I'm just going to pick clone stamp tool, which is right here. Make sure it's on sample current layer, and my flow is 100, opacity is 100, and it's a nice soft brush with hardness set to 0. So now I'm just going to clone all this out, the extra part right here that I don't like. I just want everything, I just want it to be all green, you know, just makes the image look a bit neater and better. So I'm going to clone all these places out. Okay, so definitely, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, you know how the clone stamp tool works. All you have to do is hold alternate, then you see this come out, then you sample place like somewhere around here, and you just paint over the next place. So sample somewhere close to where you want to paint over and just paint. So use alternate or option on Mac to sample, and you just paint. Okay, so now the ground's looking a lot better and a lot cleaner. So the next thing I'll do is use my color, my lookup tables to grade the image. Now, I'm not going to do any skin retouching for this image because I don't have to. It's pretty far, and you know, it's like a full image and it's not just like someone's portrait, so I don't have to do any skin retouching. So I'm going to use my LUTs to grade this image. Now, if you haven't seen my video on LUTs, you should definitely check it out. As the last video I put out, how to grade in 1 minute. You learn to use LUTs in that video. So what I'm going to do now is come to color lookup. So I'll just click my adjustment layer button right here, come to color lookup, then I'll load this, and I have my LUTs stored away somewhere in here, so I'm just going to look for them, teal and orange, like I said. Then I'll pick the Mica cube, click OK, and this is what's giving me right now. This is the before and this is the after. As you can see, it's a pretty sweet effect, and it really matches this particular image. Now, I like it and I like how it looks, but the next thing I want to do is use my levels to make her stand out even more from the background. You know, it looks really good, but I want her to stand out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to create a new levels layer. And now that I've created a new levels layer, what I'll do is I would invert this. I'm just going to invert this particular layer mask right here. So remember, white reveals and black hides. White reveals and black hides. White reveals and black hides. So what I'll do now is I'll pick a brush, pick a white brush, make sure it's a white soft brush, flow is 100, opacity is 100, and just paint over her face. I know you guys can't see anything happening right now, so I just paint over her face and, you know, like her dress, just so that we can make something happen. Now we'll come to our levels adjustment layer and just pull up our whites, just pull our whites in. You guys can see what's happening right now. So now I can continue. I'll go back to my layer mask and I'll continue painting. So I just want to bring her out and just make her stand out. Just want to make her stand out. I'll go back to my black. You can toggle with X between black and white on your foreground and background color right here. So all you have to do is just go hit X and it will toggle between white and black down here. I hope you guys can see my my cursor. For some reason it just disappears anytime I try to like type in a figure. I don't know why. So yeah, this is where we're at now. We have brought her out of the image. You know, as you guys can see, she's standing out right now. Let me just zoom in so you guys can see that she's standing out right now, and that's nice. So after doing this, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'll go into my color balance and just add a little more color to this. You know, color balance is one of my favorite tools for grading. Hopefully I'll be able to do a video about this in the nearest future. So for this image, I'll start with my midtones, and what I'll do with my midtones is just add a little magenta to it, and I'll add some yellows to it. Okay, this looks great. The reason why I add yellows then add magentas is when you add too much yellows, the image tends to look green, at least from my point of view. So what I just do is I just balance it out by just adding a little magenta to it. Now the next thing I'll do is work on my highlights. As you can see, you know, it's already like a very warm evening. You know, you have the warm sun. So I'm just going to pull my yellows up to add to that. Then I'm just going to add like a little red to the image, just a tiny smudge of red to the image. Now I'm just going to move to my shadows now, and I would add some blues to my shadows, just to make the shadows pop a little more. Just add some blues to my shadows and add some cyans to it. So this is what this looks like right now. So let's go over this. So we have our highlights. I added some yellows and some reds. Then my midtones, I added some blue, some yellows again to my midtones, and magenta. Then for shadows, I added some blues and some cyan. So that's what we're doing right now. So after working on this, which is the color balance, the next thing that I'll do to this image is I'll reduce the saturation, because the image looks pretty saturated. Looks too saturated for my liking after doing all this. So I'm just going to pull my saturation down a little bit. Not too much, just a tiny bit. Now, if you know me, you know I love my vignettes. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. I do that by using this gradient tool right here. I'll pick radial gradient, and my reverse is ticked because my blacks are on my left. So now I'm just going to hit the option key. Now my gradient tool. Sorry, hit the shift key, not the option key. Shift key, so that I can draw a straight line. And I'm just going to draw one from her face down and leave it. Now, as you guys can see, you know, you have like a nice vignette in the image, but it's pretty dark. It's too dark. So now I'm just going to change it to soft light, make sure everything around her is dark and kind of dark and dreamy at the same time. You guys know, looks really good. So next thing I'm going to do is reduce the opacity somewhere around this. This looks fine. So let's see what it looks like. Fine. Okay, great. So after doing this, what I want to do is I just want to add some clouds to the sky. So I downloaded an image, which is right here. So I'm just going to pull this image into this. Okay, raise it up, bring it up here. It's definitely going to come in as a smart image, so I can scale it. Let's scale it a bit. Click OK. Place. Now I just want some texture in the sky. I don't want it to look like it's just bland and empty. So I want some texture in the sky. So what I'm going to do now is create like a layer mask and invert my layer mask. And now I'm just going to pick a brush, a white brush, because white reveals, and just paint over this and just bring the clouds in. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Oh my God, that looks terrible. Yes, it does. So what I'll do now is I'm going to change this to soft light. And you guys can see, you know, everything is like blending in now. But I'm going to add some blur to the image itself, not the layer mask. I'll add some blur to the image itself. So I'll come to filter, blur, a Gaussian blur. I sound American when I say that, Gaussian blur. Just add a little blur to the image. And now I'll reduce the opacity of this layer a little bit, you know, as you guys can see, just reduce it some more. Okay, so we just have some texture in the sky. You guys can see we didn't actually replace the whole sky. We're just adding some clouds in the sky. And after that, what else am I going to do to this image? Looks great already. Looks great. Probably just levels. Just add some more levels to this. Let me see what my levels look like now. Create like levels like that. Looks pretty good to me, you know, doesn't look like I have to do more. So yeah, so this is about it. Let's see where this image started from, and let's see where we're at now. So put everything in a group. And this is where we started from in Photoshop, and this is where we're at now. This is where we started from in Photoshop, and this is where we're at now. So let's save this and go back to Capture One, and I'll show you guys the beginning to the end in Capture One. So yeah, so we'll start with like the straight out of camera, then Capture One adjustment, and you guys will see what we've just done right here. So Capture One. Hey guys, so in Capture One, let me show you this. This is the straight out of camera. This is what came straight out of camera. This is our Capture One adjustment, and this is our final image that was done in Photoshop. So straight out of camera, capture one adjustment, Photoshop, and boom, image looks good. I need to stop saying boom. And yeah, now boom sounds great, right? This image looks good. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope this will help you to take not just great pictures, but also edit your pictures and make them look fantastic and make them look timeless and great like this image looks. If I'm going to do any other thing to this image, I'm not sure, I might just add some film grain to this image just to counter the noise that's in there. So let's just zoom in and probably just, you know, add some harsh grain to this image, so somewhere around 20. So just to add to like the whole feel of the noise that's in the image, and you just get a very, very pleasing image overall. Looks really great. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, kindly subscribe. I'm trying to get to 50,000 subscribers this year. That's the goal. Thank you so much for watching the video. Give it a thumbs up if you love it. It helps YouTube know that the content that I'm putting out is good, and YouTube will show it to other people. Also comment below, let me know what you think about today's video, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend and a great week ahead of you. Peace.